Now, we are learning more about the man behind the New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans. The brother of the perpetrator spoke with CBS News. He discussed everything from his siblings' faith to his relationship with their father. CBS News reporter Jason Allen conducted that interview and is live in Texas. Jason, thanks for joining with us. You spoke with this young man for nearly 30 minutes. What did he tell you?
Michael, good morning. It's good to be with you this morning. This was a long interview with Abdur Rahim. This is a family of 5 boys. Abdur is the youngest, his brother Shamsud-Din, the oldest. So with that kind of a spread in age, they didn't grow up together. They didn't get to know each other especially well when they were younger. But in the last year and a half, there was something that happened in the family. Their father had a stroke. That required the boys to spend some more time together caring for their father. And so over the last 18 months or so, they did get to know each other a lot better. And Abdur told us that he saw his brother as someone who was smart, who was charismatic, someone who had enjoyed his time in the Army, that it gave him the discipline in life that he felt was necessary. And you'll hear him tell us there were really no red flags or anything that popped up that indicated something like this attack was about to happen.
Now, Jason, authorities have been talking a lot about the suspect's radicalization. What did his brother tell you about his relationship with his faith?
Well, Michael, this family, the boys in the family, they were all raised as Muslims. So that was Shamsud-Din, who was raised as a Muslim, and Abdur as well. Now, at times, he told us, he had been away from the faith and come back to it. More recently, though, Abdur told us that his brother had come back to the faith a little more fervently. And it wasn't something maybe that they had talked about. But Abdur definitely noticed some changes in the way that Shamsud-Din had approached his faith. He had become far more conservative. He had changed the way he dressed, and dress slacks and dress shoes. He had removed tattoos, and he had talked to his brother a little bit about just changing some of the things he did in his life. I think we have a portion of that interview if we can play it.
He's been a practicing Muslim since he was a kid and everything, and I think he took a step away from the religion at some point in his life, and then he came back into it. Maybe this time around he was going to take it a little more seriously. He didn't party anymore, he didn't drink, he didn't do drugs, he didn't have sex outside of marriage, things like that.
And so, Michael, I asked him, if you look back and you rethink those conversations you had with your brother, is there anything now that stands out to you as different, anything that indicates it was taking a more serious turn? And he told me, no, there's really nothing like that that leads him from what he knew about his brother to what has happened here in the last few days.
There are investigations in Texas related to this case. What's the latest on those?
There are a couple of different parts of this investigation, Michael. One of them was here, and this was the neighborhood where Shamsud-Din was living for the last year and a half or so. The FBI and the sheriff's office has finished that part of the investigation. The next part of that is figuring out, when was he radicalized? Did that happen during his service time in Afghanistan? That's something that our CBS team has determined is unlikely, that it likely happened years after he served in the Army in Afghanistan. In fact, our colleague Charlie D'Agata was pointing out 15 years between the time he was in Afghanistan and here. It would be a long time to remain dormant if something like that happened there. So then it gets to talking to his family and his friends here. In fact, even as my colleague Andy Garcia was in Beaumont, where the brother and the family live, that's about hour and a half to 2 hours drive east of where we are in Houston. Even as he was there talking with the brother, the FBI showed up, 3 FBI investigators, to have that conversation, very much the same conversation that I had with Abdur. What did you know about your brother? What were the conversations like? And Abdur told me that his answers were very much the same, that he respected his brother, he knew him as smart. He had had some instances of stress in his life, especially with his last divorce, which had been some emotional and financial strain. But really, as he looks back on it, there was nothing that indicated a radicalization to him. But that is something investigators will be trying to figure out as to when that happened and maybe by who.
All right, Jason Allen in Houston, thanks for your reporting.